Ndewo. Nnọọ. This is Yvonne Mbanefo, and welcome to your Sunday Omnibus. This is the perfect time to catch up on all our daily drops over the past week in one go. So whether you're in the car or organizing things at home, let these words wash over you as we continue our mission to learn how to speak Igbo and to raise 10,000 next generation Igbo speakers this year. Ka anyị bido, let's start. There are two ways to say good morning in Igbo. One is ụtụtụ ọma, a direct translation. Morning good. It is tidy, functional. It is English grammar wearing an Igbo mask. But the other is an ancient inquiry into the state of your soul. Ndewo. Nnọọ. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Yvonne Mbanefo. Today is episode 1, The Emergence. We begin where every Igbo day begins, the dawn, with a question that is not really about the morning at all. Ka anyị bido. Let us start together. Today's guiding proverb is Mgbe onye tetara bụ ụtụtụ ya. Mgbe onye tetara bụ ụtụtụ ya. When one wakes up is their morning. This is not about the clock. This proverb is for the late starter, the one reclaiming what was set aside, the one pressing play on this episode right now. Your start is not dictated by anyone else's timeline. You are waking up, and because you are waking up, it is morning. By the end of today, you will be able to ask the ancient Igbo morning greeting, bọọla. Respond with confidence, bọọla m chi, and then introduce yourself. Aha m bụ Owerri, 2024. Chioma, 19 years old, born in the grey bustle of Lewisham, London, standing in her grandmother's compound for the first time. Air is heavy with wood smoke and ripening guava. Mama Nnukwu walks towards her. The rhythmic thumb tap of her mahogany walking stick against the packed earth. Her eyes are lined with stories. Chioma's heart is hammering. She has her few words of Igbo lined up like nervous soldiers. Mama Nnukwu stops, searches Chioma's face, breathes, bọọla chi. Chioma freezes. She expected a greeting. She received a question about her existence. In the Igbo worldview, the night is a passage, a place of mystery where return is never guaranteed. When you meet at daybreak, you do not ask, is the morning good? You ask, did you make it back? Did you emerge with the light? Chioma takes a deep breath, reaches back through generations. She whispers, then stronger. Abọọla m chi. Yes, I have emerged. In that 30-second exchange, the distance of the Atlantic vanished. Chioma was not a visitor anymore. She was a descendant reclaiming her place in the dawn. That moment has a name in Igbo scholarship. Nnọọ Achebe, in his 1975 collection of essays, Morning Yet on Creation Day, reflected on the Igbo sense of renewal and duality, the belief that every dawn represents another meeting between one's chi and the material world. The Igbo world, Achebe noted, moves between opposites, spirit and matter, night and emergence. So when Chioma answered Ibolachi, she was not just saying good morning, she was acknowledging that her life force had found its way back through the night to the living world. In that sense, every morning greeting in Igbo is, as Achebe might suggest, a sacred ritual of presence. So, let's put this into words. Here are today's 3 sentences, your first 3 drops. Number 1. Ibolachi. Ibolachi. Have you emerged with the dawn? So this is your morning greeting. You say it to anyone you meet at daybreak. Family, friend, elder. It replaces good morning with something far deeper. This is not small talk. It's an ancient inquiry. Have you returned? Are you here? We see you. Ibolachi. Ibolachi. Your turn. Again, Ibolachi. Now build on that. Number 2. Abolamchi. Abolamchi. Yes, I have emerged with the dawn. So this is your response when someone greets you with Ibolachi. This is how you answer. You say it with your full chest. You survive the night. Abolamchi. Abolamchi. Your turn. Abolamchi. Number 3. Ahambo. Ahambo. My name is. So after greeting, you introduce yourself. Ahambo Yvonne. Ahambo, then your name. Ahambo. Ahambo Yvonne. Your turn. Ahambo. So now let us hear all 3 together. The conversation Chioma had at dawn. So Mama Nnukwu says Ibolachi. Chioma, Abolamchi. Then Mama Nnukwu, kedu aha gị? Chioma, aha m bụ Chioma. So Mama Nnukwu is saying, Ibolachi, have you emerged with the dawn? Chioma answered, Abolamchi. Yes, I have emerged. And then Mama Nnukwu is asking, kedu aha gị? What is your name? And Chioma is answering with, aha m bụ Chioma. My name is Chioma. 3 sentences, one granddaughter finding her way home. If that exchange felt like something you want more of, if you are ready to go beyond 3 sentences a day and actually speak Igbo with confidence, join us at the Igbo Village. It's our 12-month program for adults and families on the same mission, to speak Igbo fluently together. You can find out more at learnigbonow.com. Kachigidogo Fumata. May your chi lead you well today. Yagazieregi. May it go well for you. Tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the news, before anything, say Ibolachi to someone. not as a lesson, but as a greeting. Download your free practice workbook at www.learnigbonow.com. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This abụ nwanne gị nwanyị, Yvonne Mbanefo. I am your sister, Yvonne Mbanefo. Keep learning, keep speaking, and remember, progress always beats perfection. You can hold a British passport. You can speak English without a trace of accent. You can navigate the tube or trains blindfolded. None of it matters, because the first question an Igbo elder will ever ask you is not, where do you live? It is, Onye ebe ka ị bụ? Where are you from? And it hits differently than when a stranger in Antwerp asks you the same thing. In that question, geography ends. Identity begins. Ndewo. Nnọọ. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Yvonne Mbanefo. Today, the most important question in Igbo culture, and how to answer it with your whole chest. Ka anyị bido. Let's start together. Today's guiding proverb is, Onye amaghị ebe o si, amaghị ebe ọ na-aga. Onye amaghị ebe o si, amaghị ebe ọ na-aga. The one who does not know where they come from does not know where they are going. Your roots are not nostalgia. They are navigation. They tell you who you are when everything else is noise. By the end of today, you will be able to ask and answer the foundational identity question in Igbo. Name your ancestral village with confidence. Tell someone where you live now, without losing where you come from. Awka, Anambra State, September 2022. Adoma is 26, pharmacist, born in Antwerp, Belgium. Her Igbo fits on one hand. Biko, Nna, Nne, Nri, Daalụ. Her father's burial brought her here, to a compound she has only seen in WhatsApp photos. Red dust on her white trainers. She is standing by the kitchen door when an older woman, her father's elder sister, walks towards her. Grey wrapper, coral beads, a face carved by 80 dry seasons. Her aunt says, Nwa nwannem, ị bịalutego? My brother's child, have you arrived? Then the question, the one Adoma's mother rehearsed with her on the flight from Brussels. Aunt, Onye ebe ka ị bụ? She knows the answer. She has practiced it in her mirror. But saying it here, beside her father's fresh grave, feels like signing something permanent. Because if she gets this wrong, she does not just mispronounce a word, she misplaces herself. Adaoma: Abụ m onye Ọka. Her aunt cups her cheek. Warm, certain. Aunt: ị bụ nwa afọ. Ị natago. Yes, you are a child of the land. You have come home. 5 words, and the woman who had never set foot in Awka was claimed by it. In today's Scholars Park, we will be learning from historian Elizabeth Isichie. In her book, A History of the Igbo People, written in 1976, she makes a critical observation about Igbo society. Igbo civilization was not built around a centralized king or empire. It was built around the obodo, the hometown. Your village was, and still is, the organizing principle of identity. In a decentralized society without kings, the village was the archive. Lineage, custom, moral obligation, belonging. When Adaoma said, Abụ m onye Ọka, I am from Awka, she was not offering a postcode. She was locating herself inside a lineage documented, remembered, and inherited. In Igbo society, to name your village is to name your place in the world. So the 3 Igbo sentences we'll learn today. 3 sentences, 1 question, 1 answer, 1 way to tell the full story. Number 1. The question. Onye ebe ka ị bụ? Onye ebe ka ị bụ? Where are you from? Onye ebe ka ị bụ? Your turn. Onye ebe ka ị bụ? This is not small talk. Your answer places you in a web of kinship. Now build on that with the answer. Number 2, the answer. Abụ m onye, then you add your village name. Example, Abụ m onye Ọka. I am from Awka. Abụ m onye ime Eziọwa. Your turn. Abụ m onye. Again, Abụ m onye. You can use this when answering Onye ebe ka ị bụ. This names your roots, not where you sleep, but where your lineage lives. This is your identity anchor. It connects you to land, lineage, and every ancestor who walked that soil. Number 3 is where you live now. Ebi m na, then you name the city. For example, Ebi m na London. I live in London. Ebi m na Antwerp. I live in Antwerp. Your turn. Ebi m na. 2 sentences tell your whole story. Abụ m onye Ọka. Ebi m na Antwerp. Ebi m na Antwerp, mana abụ m onye Ọka. I live in Antwerp, but I'm from Awka. Maybe you don't know your village yet. That is not failure. That is a journey still in motion. When you find out, and you will have the sentence ready, and you will say it like Adaoma, with the memory behind her and the future ahead. The land that holds your name has not forgotten you. If you do not know your village yet, ask someone in your family before the week ends. Don't let the question find you before you are ready to answer it. Download your free practice workbook at learnigbonnow.com. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị, Yvonne Mbanefo. I am your sister, Yvonne Mbanefo. Keep learning, keep speaking, and remember, progress beats perfection. Five. That is the number. One syllable. A child's age. The simplest fact in a mother's life. And yet, for millions of us in the diaspora, it is the number we cannot say. Not because we have forgotten it, because we were never given it in Igbo. Today, you get it. Ndewo. Nnọọ. I am Yvonne Mbanefo. This is Igbo Daily Drops, and today I want to speak directly to you. Not to everyone listening, to you. The one who has never said your age, or your child's age in Igbo. And the one who tried and mangled it, and felt your face get hot. That effort counts. Your mouth has done the work. It will flow with practice. Ka anyị bido? Let us start. You're not alone in this. Today's proverb. Ogologo abụghị na nwa m etoola. Tallness or height doesn't mean that my child is grown up. Tallness is not maturity. You can count the years. You can say the number. But the number alone is not the thing. In Igbo thought, true growth, uto, shows in wisdom, in action, in what you carry for others. Today we start with a number. But the number is only the door. By the end of today, you will be able to say your age in Igbo. Give a specific example, one real number, spoken clearly. And ask someone else their age. Politely, of course, directly, without the nervous laugh. Amaka, 31 years old. Primary school teaching assistant, born in Bristol, is sitting at her kitchen table at 7:30 in the evening. A school enrollment form is open on her phone. 37 questions. The kind of form that wants to know everything about your child, except whether you slept last night. Her son Kelechi is on the floor behind her, spinning in slow circles, singing one line of an Afrobeat song on repeat, like it is his full-time employment. She needs a date confirmed, something about a family record, so she taps a voice note to her auntie in Enugu. Auntie replies in 9 seconds. Straight Igbo, no preamble. And then, casually, the way you might reach for salt, she adds, Afọ ole ka Kelechi dị ugbu a? How old is Kelechi now? Amaka's thumb hovers over the microphone. She knows the answer. 5. She has the receipts. 5 years of temperatures taken at 3 a.m. 5 years of shoe sizes outgrown before the box is recycled. 5 nativity costumes sewn the night before. But the number will not come. Not in Igbo. Because no one ever gave her the sentence for this. The ordinary Tuesday evening kitchen table sentence that a mother should be able to say without thinking. And that silence, the one between knowing and saying, is where so many of us live. That silence has a history. In their 1983 study, Age Grades in Amuzi, scholars Theodore Ekechukwu and Dikugu documented how Igbo communities organize their life around age, not as a private detail, but as a public coordinate. Groups of people born within 3 years of each other move through responsibilities together, clearing roads, settling disputes, funding festivals, carrying the village forward. Your age told the community where you stood, who your mates were, what you could be trusted with. So when Auntie asks, how old is Kelechi now? She is not filling in a form. She is doing what Igbo elders have always done, mentally placing you among your age mates, working out who you walk with. That instinct did not disappear with the village. It followed us into the diaspora. We're going to learn 3 sentences, only 3, and after today, they belong to you. Number 1. Ademafo, then you add the age. For me personally, Ademafo iri ise na abụọ. Ademafo iri ise na abụọ. I am 52 years old. Your turn. Ademafo. Then you say your age. If you don't know your age in Igbo, just say it in English. Adem, 20 years. Adem, 28 years. If you know it in Igbo, say it. Again. Ademafo. Number 2. Ọ dị afọ ise. Ọ dị afọ ise. He is 5 years old. Your turn. Ọ dị afọ ise. Ọ dị afọ ise. You use this when you're saying someone's age, a child, a sibling, a cousin. This is the sentence Amaka needs for that voice note. Ọ dị afọ ise. He is 5 years old. And finally, the one that completes the exchange. Afọ ole ka ị dị? How old are you? Afọ ole ka ị dị? How old are you? You use this with children, with cousins, with friends. And yes, that auntie who asks questions like she's compiling a national census. Here's food for thought. A language does not die in a catastrophe. It dies in the ordinary. In the kitchen where the number is known but not spoken. In the playground where the question is asked in English because Igbo feels too fragile for a Tuesday. And a language does not return in a classroom. It returns in the ordinary too. In a voice note, in a school form, in a mother saying ise, 5, as if it were the most natural word in the world, because it is. Ka asụsụ Igbo dị ndụ n'ọnụ gị. May the Igbo language live in your mouth. Say, ọ dị afọ, and then your child's number out loud before the day is done. If you do not have a child, say your own, adị m afọ, and the number. And mean it when you say it. Download your free practice workbook at learnigbownow.com. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Mbanefo. Keep learning, keep speaking. The next generation is watching you. You ask someone how they are in English, and they say, fine. Every single time. Fine. Even when they are not fine. Even when their head is splitting and their legs are trembling and they have not slept in 36 hours. In Igbo, the body does not lie, and the language does not let it. Ndewo, Nnọọ. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. I am Yvonne Mbanefo. Today we are learning how to let your body speak in Igbo. 3 sentences that say what fine never could. Ka anyị bido? Let us start together. Today's proverb is Ahụ bụ ụlọ uche. The body is the house of the mind. In Igbo thought, the body is not separate from your spirit, your thinking, your readiness to be present in the community. If the house is crumbling, everything inside it suffers. A healthy body houses the mind that connects you to everyone around you. So when Igbo people ask about your body or comment on it, they are not being rude. They are checking the house. By the end of today, you'll be able to tell someone your body feels good in Igbo. Ask someone how their body is. Say that you're not feeling well, honestly, without shame. Lagos, December 2024. Dirty December. The whole city is electric. Owambe season. Parties stacked on parties. Jollof rice at volumes that could feed a village. Chike, 29 years old, architect, born and raised in New Jersey, is standing in his grandmother's compound in Festac Town. He is here for her 80th birthday. His first time in Lagos since he was 6. He has survived the Murtala Mohammed Airport queue. He has survived the 3rd mainland bridge traffic. And now, 3 aunties have descended. Chike, you're too thin. Are they not feeding you in America? In New Jersey, he would bristle. In New Jersey, that sentence sounds like judgment. But here, and this is the thing nobody tells you, that sentence is not about his weight. It's about his well-being. Those aunties are not body shaming him. They are reading his body the way you read a letter from someone you love. Every line matters. Every detail is information. You are too thin means I am worried about you. Are you eating? Are you sleeping? Is the life you have built over there taking care of you the way we would? And then his uncle approaches, unhurried, deliberate, and says what the aunties meant but did not have the old words for. Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? How is your body? Chike does not know how to answer. Not because the question is hard, because no one in New Jersey has ever asked about his body as a greeting. At the hospital, the body is a clinical object. Here, in this compound, the body is a communal text, and everyone is reading it. That moment, the aunties, the uncle, the reading of the body is everywhere in Igbo literature. Chinua Achebe, writing in Things Fall Apart in 1958, wove the language of physical well-being into every social encounter. When characters in his novel greet, they ask about the body. When they assess a person's readiness, they look at the body. Achebe understood that in Igbo society, commenting on someone's physical state is not intrusion, it is care. A strong body signals availability. It says, I am here, I can contribute, you can count on me. So when Chike's uncle asks, how is your body? Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? And when those aunties say, you are too thin, they are asking the same question. Are you whole? Are you present? Can we celebrate together? So, let's put this into words. Here are today's 3 sentences to learn. Ahụ dị m mma. Ahụ dị m mma. My body feels good. I am well. Ahụ dị m mma. Your turn. Ahụ dị m mma. Ahụ dị m mma. So you can use this when someone greets you and asks how you are. This is the Igbo way of saying, I'm well. Except here, you are actually saying something. You are reporting the state of your body. It carries weight. Ahụ dị m mma. I am well. Number 2. Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? How is your body? How are you feeling? Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? Your turn. Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? Kedu ka ahụ dị gị? And finally, the one that ties it all together. Number 3. Ahụ adịghị m mma. Ahụ adịghị m mma. My body does not feel good. I am not well. Ahụ adịghị m mma. Your turn. Ahụ adịghị m mma. Ahụ adịghị m mma. I am not well. Your turn. Ahụ adịghị m mma. Food for thought. The next time an auntie tells you that you've added weight or that you look thin or that your face is tired, before you bristle, listen again. She's not commenting on your appearance. She's reading your body. She's doing what Igbo people have always done. Checking the house to see if the person inside is well. The body is the first thing the Igbo language asks about. Not your job, not your accomplishments, not your December plans. Your body, because the body is the house, and the community needs to know the house is standing. Ka ahụ gị dịrị gị mma taa. May your body be well for you today. You can download your free practice workbook at learnigbonow.com. Abụ m nwanne gị nwaanyị Yvonne Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Mbanefo. Keep learning, keep speaking, and remember, progress beats perfection. In every Igbo home, there is a hand you use and a hand you never use. Use the wrong one and the room goes quiet. Not angry quiet. Worse. Disappointed quiet. Today we learn the word that lives in the right hand and what it costs when you forget it. Ndewo, Nnọọ. Welcome to the final episode of our first week together. I am Yvonne Mbanefo and this is Igbo Daily Drops. All week, you've been building the language of politeness, greetings, requests, the words that carry weight. Today, we close with the one that holds them all. Biko, not please, something deeper. Ka anyị bido? Let us start together. Today's guiding proverb is aka nri kwọọ aka ekpe, aka ekpe akwọọ aka nri. Aka nri kwọọ aka ekpe, aka ekpe akwọọ aka nri. The right hand washes the left, and the left hand washes the right. One hand cannot wash itself. That is the whole philosophy in 7 words. Many of us learn this the hard way. You reach for something with your left hand at your auntie's table, and the whole room stops eating. By the end of today, you will be able to ask for help politely in Igbo. Express deep gratitude. Excuse yourself with cultural awareness. 3 sentences, 3 acts of connection. Nairobi, Kenya, 2022. Chidimma is 29. Born in Owerri. Married to Kamau, a Kikuyu software engineer she met at a fintech conference in Lagos. They live in Karen, a quiet suburb southwest of Nairobi's center, where bougainvillea climbs every wall and the red earth reminds her, just slightly, of home. Tonight, Kamal's mother is visiting from Nyeri. First time in their home. Chidimma has cooked ofe nsala, white soup with catfish, because it is what her own mother made when honoring a guest. She carries the plate with both hands, the way her grandmother taught her. She sets it down. Kamal's mother looks at the food, then at Chidimma's hands, then at her son. She speaks in Kikuyu. Chidimma does not understand the words, but she understands the silence that follows. Later that night, Kamal explains his mother was moved, not offended. In Kikuyu culture, Offering food with both hands carries the same weight. But there is one thing Chidinma could not translate. The word she whispered as she set the plate down. Biko. She said it so quietly even Kamal did not hear. But Chidinma heard it. And in that kitchen in Karen, 3,000 kilometers from Owerri, the word still tasted the way her grandmother said it. That whisper has a name in the scholarship. Ogbonnaya Nwoye, writing in his 1992 paper, Linguistic Politeness and Sociocultural Variations of the Notion of Face, found what most Western linguists had missed. That politeness in Igbo culture operates on completely different principles. In Western frameworks, making a request threatens the other person's freedom. But Nwoye found that in Igbo society, requesting is a social right, a communal expectation. To ask is to say, you and I belong to each other. Biko is not the English please dressed in Igbo clothing. It says, I trust you enough to ask. So let's put this into words. Here are today's 3 sentences. Number 1. Biko nyere m aka. Please help me. Biko nyere m aka. Please help me. Your turn. Biko nyere m aka. Biko nyere m aka. You can use this when you need assistance from a stranger at a market, a colleague at work, a family member at home. Number 2. Daalụ rinne. Daalụ rinne. Thank you very much. Daalụ is thank you. Rinne is very much. Daalụ rinne. Your turn. Daalụ rinne. Daalụ rinne. You can use this after someone has helped you, given you something, or shown you kindness. This is how you close the circle that Biko opened. And finally, the one that ties it all together. Number 3. Biko iwe wenagi. Biko iwe wenagi. Please excuse me, or pardon, or don't be angry. So you use this when you want to say excuse me to someone, or when you have interrupted, when you need to pass, when you have caused a small inconvenience. You say Biko iwe wenagi. Biko iwe wenagi. Your turn. Biko iwe wenagi. Biko iwe wenagi. So this sentence does not assume you have done something wrong. It assumes you care enough about the other person's peace to protect it. Food for thought. Traditionally, the right hand symbolizes honor in public exchange. If you are left-handed, this is not a judgment of your worth. It's a cultural symbol tied to etiquette, not ability. And in practice, when the right hand is not available, you do what Igbo people have always done. You excuse yourself and apologize in advance. Biko iwe wenagi. Apologize in advance for using your left hand to give somebody something or a handshake. This weekend, when you reach for something, a cup, a door, your child's hand, notice which hand you use. And if the word Biko crosses your mind, let it stay. Ka izu a gwụchaa n'udo. May this week end in peace. Download your free practice workbook at learnigbonow.com. Every sentence you have learned this week is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Mbanefo. Rest this weekend and come back on Monday. We are just getting started.